What is the Innovation and Portfolio Management Office?
Good question, Stuart. So this is traditionally in most organizations, you've got a PMO, which is responsible for the delivery of projects. And in some organizations, you've also got a function, might be R&D. In large organizations, it's typically an innovation team who are responsible for driving change, getting new things, thinking up new strategy that then gets delivered. But typically they're very much disconnected. They're in different parts of the business. They don't have good collaborative mechanisms. So the IPMO is all about bringing those two things together. So you have one entity that effectively is responsible for driving all of your transformation, your change, your innovation, your delivery. It's in control from end to end so that you've got the visibility and the decision making and you do the right things.
For me, with experience of working in portfolio management, we see ideation sometimes as a bit of a challenge where someone has an idea and that inspires a change, a project.
Yeah.
How does this model address that? How do ideas filter into the process?
Yeah, I mean, you've got everything in one place. That's the first, major benefit. Typically in the PMO, you don't really get visibility of new change until it's been signed off. Maybe the business case has been authorized, and then you've got to work out how you resource it and have you got the right capabilities and so on. With this, you're involved. The IPMO is involved from day one. Effectively, it's taking the strategy from the business. So what are our key drivers? What are our objectives over the next 12 months, 5 years, whatever your vision and timeframes are? It's taking that and then driving the innovation to align to that. So, in the first instance, it's about maybe setting challenges within your business that people can contribute to. It's about driving innovation externally, dealing with your suppliers, your customers, getting their vision on where you should be going. So, as opposed to you finding out late, the IPMO is involved right from day one. And what that means is that as opposed to not having the right resource, not having the capability, you've actually, what the strategy is, what's coming down the funnel as far as innovation is concerned, and therefore you can align it correctly.
So the IPMO then becomes, or it has to be the single central location for all change within the business then?
Yeah. So, but more than that, more than responsible, because typically you might get from that, it's responsible for the delivery of the change. It's really much more. It's responsible for making sure it's the right change. It's responsible for making sure that change is happening, that transformation is really occurring. So it's a bigger remit than the delivery piece.
So in terms of aligning change to strategy and to the organization's goals, I can understand how that would have value. There'd be an argument that maybe PMOs already should do that, but you're talking about this start part at the start, aren't you? And really lining that up. Where do you see the current PMOs failing in accomplishing this?
So this is just going to be some sweeping statements, and there are definitely PMOs out there that this might not apply to. But for me,
don't worry, Ivan. You can't offend anyone on the internet. That just won't happen.
My experience, and I have been doing it for quite a long time. My experience is that PMOs are quite reactive entities. So what they are excellent at is analyzing data, targeting deadlines, pulling reports together, crunching out the detail of what's happening in the portfolio so the executives can see, well, these are all the things we're doing, these are when they're going to happen, and are they on budget or not. That typically is where the strength is. To deal with the front end of the pipeline, you've got to be much more proactive about it. It's about not just being there to be the effect of something that someone's decided on. It's about enabling the business to drive those things right at the start. So it's not an easy thing because you need different skill sets. Typically you look at a PMO, the resourcing within a PMO is typically people are quite structured, analytical. Whereas you look at people within an innovation space, and they're typically, quite effusive and talkative and engaging. And what you really need is the best of both of those.
Have you seen this model work in practice anywhere? Are there any locations of best practice we should be looking to?
So it's I think it's something that's being slowly realized. I guess even it's accelerated as a result of COVID as well. With pre-COVID, we're a technology company who empower people to do this. So we have tools that help. But what we used to find before COVID was we had lots of customers who bought into our first module, which is all around driving innovation. And then we had other customers who bought into our projects module, which is about delivering projects and portfolios. And then we had, yes, certainly some customers who bought into the whole suite. But what we've found since COVID is that, and then during COVID it was as well, is that organizations became much more conscious that they absolutely have to be able to react. They have to be able to make the right decisions. They have to connect their strategy to their delivery. And in most organizations, that wasn't necessarily occurring. So yes, absolutely, we're seeing more and more of this. We had a customer, Cisco, talk only last week at a conference in Europe, whereby they were absolutely talking about not just coming up with ideas, but actually delivering the change in a connected place so that they can make decisions. They talked about examples whereby pre this, they would have things going on in the business in two different places that were the same, that they had no visibility of. So, doubling down on effort, money, resource that they could connect together. They also talked about having projects and innovations that were in different areas of the business that were perfectly reasonable, but actually when they looked at them both, if they delivered both together, they got more than twice the benefit. So the sum of both parts was more than the individuals alone. So this connected vision of innovation and delivery together, they're able to do that, whereas they couldn't before.
So you have a white paper on this, which I'll put the link to in the description, but you also have a whole bunch of other resources on this?
Yeah, we do. So our website provides videos, case studies aligned to this, and also, of course, more information on the technology that helps to underpin this.
Fantastic. I'll put links in the description, and you're accessible via LinkedIn. Are you happy for people to connect and follow?
Please, absolutely do. Love to reach out. Love to speak to more and more people about this subject.
Thank you, Ivan. The links to the white paper and to the Edison 365 website are both in the description of this video. Now, if you're interested in what the day in the life of a PMO is like, then I recommend you try this video.